need your help. Catch me. You got me? Okay, don't move. Ah! Thank you.
Okay, you catch me.
Don't go really fast because I'm really scared.
I know which one.
Whoa!
The majority of it, of course, I don't remember. I was too young, but when I was about 6 months old, my great-grandmother was in a car accident, and ironically, she was the one who raised my mom, and so my mom had a really hard time with that. And she was young, she was 18 years old, had just had me, and I guess she just really couldn't cope with the stress, so that's how it came about that I was with my grandparents. Yeah, they automatically, like, the first question is, well, how do you feel about your mom? You know, like, oh, what happened? And it's like, nothing, you know, really, it wasn't anything drastic or crazy, it was just a bad chain of events, you know, that led to me being raised by them. You know, like I said, it wasn't really a choice, it was just kind of something gradual that happened. She's very sensitive about it. You can tell she regrets it, but I guess she's kind of accepting of it, you know, because she knows what she did wrong, and she's a great mom now. She really is. I love her. She's a wonderful person, and she doesn't handle stress very easily. So I understand, you know, why what happened. So she copes with it, I guess. It's kind of pushed me to not be that, you know, and to go above and beyond. You know, like, I lost one of my best friends right shortly after my daughter was born, and, you know, I just saw it all happening again. I was like, I'm not going to let that happen. So I'm glad it happened.
Here he was, I think, trying to make a ball when we let him have his goal in the house and let him play ball in the house. Okay, here's a picture of Ethan and Tyler. That's his best friend. They've grown up together. Right here's his first fish. I think it's in there. This is when he was little. I think he must have had a headache. There's his first motorcycle. Looking cool. I'm 57-year-old. I've got 3 children and 4 grandchildren, and Ethan was my little grandson that we adopted, and I've had him. I met him when he was 9 months old, and I think he was probably about 21 months old when we adopted him. We've always told him, you know, when we saw him, that we loved him so much that we asked them to give him to us. And just a day or two ago, we really went into the depth of it, about his mother, you know, being in jail. That was why we had him, but we told him we wanted, you know, that we loved him anyway from the first day we met him. She would steal things. She was a thief, a con artist. She's had 2 more children since then, and they've been taken away from her, and she's in jail now. My son is his daddy. He got married again, and really didn't know what to do with Ethan, you know, and so to keep Ethan just out of the picture altogether, he signed his rights over too. My brother asked me, he said, I don't know how you do it. I said, because I couldn't go to bed and go to sleep not knowing where that child was. I said, how I do it is, I said, I put one foot in front of the other.
Well, it's a real dramatic change in their lifestyle. I mean, you know, they've raised their kids and probably lived alone for some period of time. And a lot of them, you know, they're older, they're looking forward to kind of slowing down a little bit, having some extra time, taking it easy. Then all of a sudden you're back into, you know, chasing a 4-year-old when you're in your 50s or 60s or whatever. You know, at the time when you ought to be sort of slowing down, you're going back to parent-teacher conferences and Little League games and everything else that goes with raising a young child. So it's it's a real dramatic impact on their lifestyle. I talked to 2 different grandmothers who were raising their grandchildren, and it was just a matter where they really loved those kids, and they felt a responsibility A, because they loved the kids, and B, they felt like it was their family responsibility to do that. They didn't want to see them go somewhere else.
That's what makes me appreciate my grandparents, because there was somebody there. You know, they didn't have to do that by any means. They didn't have to do that. They chose to. I can't say that it doesn't hurt me in some way, because, you know, that would hurt any kid knowing that. But I also do have to sympathize, because I know, God forbid, if something happened to my grandparents, I would have a really hard time with it. But actually, I'm glad that it happened, because I am so close to my grandparents. Oh, it absolutely changed after I had my little girl. I mean, it almost made me realize even more of what had happened. You know, I guess, you know, come to a realization of exactly what all you go through, the feelings, and I guess I understood, but at the same time, it almost made me more misunderstanding, because I didn't know, you know, how my daughter, who is my world, she's my life, you know, she's the greatest thing, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm like, how could you let that go? But I also have to sit back and realize that, you know, she's not me. It's not so much resentment for her as it is resentment for the idea of, you know, because I could never see myself doing that, you know, to my kid, but I understand at the same time. You know, so it's not so much her I resent, it's just the whole fact that, of the idea that you could, you know, go a whole day without seeing your child, and that's what bothers me.
I know he has to feel rejected because, you know, my son's had another child and he loves it, and but she's had 2 more and she don't have them, so yeah, I know it bothers him. I don't really like to talk negative about, you know, either one of them. There just ain't no sense at this age adding salt to the wound. I just don't like to do that yet. He's figuring it out. I don't lie to him. If he asks, I tell him the truth.
There's going to be kids out there questioning why their parents don't come and see them more often, or didn't do a better job. Where are their parents? Did mom and dad not love me enough? I'm sure it raises some psychological issues for them. How that plays out, I'm not an expert, I don't know, but I'm sure it raises some problems and some issues for them.
You know what's going to take over these children that these people are raising? There's going to be retaliation there. They're going to say, why was I rejected? That's going to go with them, and they're going to deal with that. And that's what's going to rule a lot of eastern Kentucky. These children that weren't good enough in their mind to be kept, and they was thrown away.